So summer 2024 anime is finally here, and I've pretty much gotten through the first episode of every single anime that I've chosen to watch, and this is a quick list of what I've been watching. I've got a lot of different shows. I think there's even more in here that I forgot to actually put on my list, but again, I've been watching a lot, and it can range from some really cool like isekai shows, which are a little bit weird, but again, I'm super interested in them, to some more lighter shows like My Dear Friend Nokotan, which is a very cool anime. You've probably seen the video that has been surfacing on the internet, but there was one anime that completely caught me off guard this summer, and I was not expecting it to be like really good. Now, before I get into this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and also go over to GamerSubs and use my code KAZO where you can get 10% off down below. And yeah, let's get back into the video. So as you've seen, I did have a lot of anime on my list, and you know, I was prepared to watch quite a bit of it, but there was one anime that kind of like went underneath my radar, and I saw it popping up a lot on Twitter, and the anime is called VTuber Legend: How I Went Viral After Forgetting to Turn Off My Stream. Now, obviously, this doesn't sound very appealing to me. Even though I am a VTuber, I'm not very interested in the overall like VTuber anime kind of scene. I don't really care for watching a VTuber in an anime, but it turns out that this anime was actually amazing, and you know, I decided to give it a go, and it definitely paid off. And I think there is a new episode airing in a couple of days, but you can actually watch it right now, and it is on Crunchyroll. But what this anime follows is pretty much a new VTuber starting up, being a content creator and being part of a big agency like we see with the VShoujos, the Hololives, the Niji Sanji, but you know, they're not really a very nice one at the moment. But it was super interesting to see as a content creator myself of a lot of the stuff that they included in the anime, and how actually like realistic it was to a lot of the stuff that, you know, I do. And I think that's what definitely captured me whenever I was watching this anime. It was the realisticness of like a lot of the stuff. I mean, they weren't afraid to use a lot of common slang that we see, especially in 2024, which I think a lot of animes don't really do. They tend to like stay away from it, and it might be an issue with the, you know, translation and stuff from Japanese. Maybe Japanese people just don't really have a word for it. But again, it was super interesting to see it be very modern and just up to date with a lot of the stuff that's going on at the moment. She was on YouTube, she was doing a lot of streaming stuff. I mean, they even included a lot of the like genres and stuff like that, including like gaming and stuff like that. They had like some VTuber gaming, and then they also had like some like weird ASMR like bit, which I thought was kind of cool because, you know, people don't really talk about this whenever it comes to anime. Like the studios just tend to shy away from a lot of like the normal topics and just continue to use a lot of the basic tropes that we see in a ton of shows. Now, obviously on Analyst, this has been very well received. It's got like a couple hundreds, couple 90s, couple 80s, so it's around in the top kind of marks. And again, I thought it was actually really good, and it definitely surprised me for a first episode. Now, I don't know how they're going to carry on the series and how they can keep going, because the first episode was so good. As you know, the title suggests, she forgets to turn off her stream and then literally goes viral because she gets exposed for not being a very like nice and cute VTuber or whatever. It turns out she's a massive alcoholic, loves to play like tons of games and watch other VTubers and stuff like that, which I found quite interesting as well. But obviously that all happened in one episode, so again, I'm kind of interested to see how they take this. It seems like there's a lot of other characters kind of getting involved. I mean, with her being part of like this VTuber agency thing, you're often like involved with a lot of other VTubers and a lot of other like talents, so again, we're probably going to be seeing a lot more interaction from them, and it will be just interesting to see where they take this. But overall, I just wanted to make this video just to point out how good of an anime and how much I enjoyed it. It was actually like super surprising whenever I watched it, because I really expected whenever I open up Crunchyroll to not be enjoying it, to probably be like, oh, okay, that was all right, because you know, there is a lot of anime that out there that are just all right, but this one actually genuinely made me laugh. And I think a lot of people just aren't really seeing this, and I haven't really seen it around much apart from the posts that originally got me into watching it. Now, obviously this is based off of a light novel, which again, light novels tend to be a little bit boring, but it seems like this light novel has actually cooked, and the localization and just the overall translation from Japanese has been amazing, and they do try to include a lot of the modern stuff that we see today, and it's just super like refreshing to see, because you know how it is, there's a lot of people who watch their like massive shows such as like One Piece, Bleach, whatever, the big kind of shows that are airing, and they tend to be pretty basic like Japanese, pretty basic English, and it's just more straight to the point. But this anime decided to just go off in a different direction and use a ton of different slang, and also in the translations, whenever she was like drunk and eating or something like that, they decided to like mix up the kind of words to make it sound like that, which I thought was also kind of cool, and we don't really see that in a lot of anime as well. And also, not to mention that character design and the overall just like the overall art is actually really nice. Like the quality of it was just insane, and I'm not exactly sure which studio is working on this. I think Kadokawa are helping out with this, so Kadokawa always usually kill it whenever it comes to publishing a lot of anime. But again, it looks super clean, and I think there is going to be some kind of like metaphor for like a lot of these characters. As you can see, she is dressed up like her actual VTuber model, which obviously we all know we don't look like this in real life kind of thing. So maybe this is some kind of metaphor for like her thinking she is a VTuber, and the same with the other characters, because all of the other characters too are dressed up like their VTuber model, which I found quite interesting, and maybe they'll expand on that later in the series. But again, I do really like the character design overall, and it is very like typical of a VTuber. And again, they just have lots of like random funny moments, which I kind of enjoy, and it's just fun to have a little break from a lot of the intense shows that we have going on this season, and also maybe some ongoing ones that you're watching. I mean, recently I've been reading a lot of Berserk, so obviously that is quite hard hitting, and just watching something like this after reading Berserk is such a contrast, and it does like brighten up your day a little bit. But again, it is super fun, and they definitely do capture a lot of these kind of internet styles quite well. They kind of copied the entire style of YouTube, which I found quite interesting as well, and they tried to make it just look as realistic as possible, and I think they did a really good job of it, because there was a lot of stuff in the anime that I thought, hey, I kind of do that stuff too. Like, they had a phone holder on the desk, which is for like VTuber tracking. Now, I don't do that myself, I just use a webcam, but I know that a lot of VTubers out there do use phones for facial tracking, so it seems like the company has done a lot of research into how VTubers work and how like content create. I don't know if there's any like actual VTubers or maybe even content creators working on this to give them a little bit of a hand whenever it comes to fact checking and just making sure a lot of this stuff is right, because it doesn't actually have to be right. I mean, this show could have just went, oh, okay, yeah, we'll just add in some like random internet browser thing, and it doesn't really make any sense. No one really cares, but they've actually taken the time to think about it and implement it into the anime, which I find is amazing, and it definitely helps it out a lot more as well, because it just makes it seem a lot more interesting, especially, as I said, for content creators like me. It also makes it just much more interesting for me, as I can actually see a lot of the stuff that they got right and a lot of the stuff that they got wrong. Because don't get me wrong, as much as they got right, they did also get a couple of things wrong, but I just think overall it is quite interesting to see. Is it like one of the best animes in the world that's gonna like take on some of the big ones that are out there? Of course not. It's a VTuber anime that's supposed to be like slice of life, you know, you're just supposed to laugh at it, but it is a definite good anime to just like turn your brain off and not really think about much. But yeah, I definitely recommend going to watch this. It is on Crunchyroll or any other sites that you may use, you know, definitely legal. So let me know down in the comments whether you've watched this or whether you're going to watch this now, and also share what anime you're watching this season. Yeah, that's about all I got for this video. If you did enjoy it, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and also go over to Gamersubs, as I said, to use my code KAZA, and the link will be down in the description below, and you can get yourself 10% off. See ya.